What's up everybody, it's me E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and today we are going to review the New Mutants. Alright, let's do a quick intro. A group of young mutants find themselves in a facility where all of their worst fears are becoming a reality. Enough of that, let's get right into the good.
The good.
You know what? One thing that New Mutants actually did pretty well is really capitalizing on the horror element of this movie. Those smiley face creatures in the film were definitely a great touch to scare audiences. I liked how this film didn't really have to rely on cheap jump scares because the creatures themselves were eerie enough. There were other scary moments in the movie, kind of like that pool scene that we get to see, that gave this film the necessary horror attributes that we're accustomed to seeing in other horror movies. I kind of wish we had gotten more of this throughout the entire film, rather than only getting more of the scarier stuff in the final acts. Now, probably one of the biggest standouts in this film has to be the character of Magic. Now, I wasn't particularly impressed with Anya Taylor-Joy's performance, but I did like the character that she played more than anything else. Magic's powers were definitely intriguing, and visually they were a really cool sight to see on the big screen. Plus, I really liked her character's backstory with the scary smiley face creatures. That in itself probably was the most intriguing thing of the movie, and it could have easily been a much more satisfying story compared to what we actually got. Well, enough of that. Let's get right on to the bad.
The bad.
Well, one thing I thought was kind of a weakness for the New Mutants was the character development. Without going into spoilers, I'll just say that one character specifically that was kind of disappointing was Cecilia Reyes. Her character felt rushed given the position she was placed in by the end of the film. The movie just didn't do a good job of revealing her motivations well enough. One minute you think she's this, then another minute she's acting different, and it just all felt completely rushed. Speaking of which, I really didn't care about the ending for this movie either. It just all felt a little bit anticlimactic. I mean, there's some really interesting, promising things that happen with certain characters, especially Magic, but then it feels like all of the air is let out when the final resolution happens. It almost had this like kiddie type of vibe to it, where we might as well have just closed out this movie with a cheesy message about the power of friendship or whatever. All right, enough of that. Let's get on to the reason.
The reason.
The New Mutants is an uninspiring film that nails the right horror genre beats, but leaves nothing else to be desired. It's a bit disappointing because the film does present some interesting potential, but that potential never gets fully realized. To the film's credit, there were reports that it was supposed to be one of 3 movies had the Disney Fox deal not went through, but honestly, the New Mutants film itself doesn't really leave us drastically wanting for more. I guess the good news here is that we can finally put to rest the constant delays for this movie to open and finally close the chapter of the previous Fox regime with this New Mutants film. Now, if there's anything positive that we can really salvage from the New Mutants, I gotta say it's gotta be the character of Magic. I mean, there are a number of different things Disney can probably do with her. She does have this strange ability to go through like another dimension, so maybe she crosses paths with Doctor Strange? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see how Disney or Marvel Studios wants to deal with that, if at all. In the meantime, I don't know if New Mutants is actually good or if it's trash. All I know is that this movie exists. I feel like this is the type of movie that really should have happened back in the early 2000s, before our expectations for comic book movies were really cemented. I mean, this movie just feels generic and flat without much meat for us to chew on, so to speak. I wouldn't go as far as saying it's the worst X-Men movie ever or anything like that, but I would say that it's certainly on the lower levels of the franchise. So when it comes to the rating for the New Mutants, I've got to give it a 5 out of 10. Look, I'm not gonna tell you not to go see it. I'm just gonna tell you don't feel pressured that you have to go rush to the theaters, especially to go see this movie. You can wait for it. Matter of fact, I'd probably even say if you never saw New Mutants, it probably wouldn't matter either. Anyway, do you plan on seeing New Mutants? If and when you do go see it, come on back to this video and let me know what you thought about it. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I always appreciate it. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.